How do you address that issue when someone says to you, Steve, well, I'm in a training, a coaching program now, and I love it. Mm-hmm. And you say to them, well, tell me why you love it. And they say, well, because I don't have to lead generate. I can just send out some postcards and do a few pop-bys, or I can go on Facebook for 4 hours a day. And that's my training, that's my coaching, that's what my coach is telling me to do. You know, how do you, in a sense, reposition that and let that person know you're probably paying or engaged in something that really is not in your best interest? I mean, it's hard for us to relay that message, but we're pretty straightforward that there are things that work and things that don't. Yeah. And you can either pretend to be in the real estate business or you can really be in it. You know, our company is all about helping you really be in the real estate business, not pretending to be in it. So, you know, how do you help people with that issue?
Well, I think, first of all, we have to acknowledge that to get into the real estate business is not very difficult. You take an exam, you pass the exam, but the exam, with all due respect to what it does teach you, it doesn't really teach you how to be a great realtor. It allows you to satisfy the state requirements and the Realtor's Code of Ethics. So there are a whole set of preliminary things that realtors need to do to get into business. The one they often don't think about, by the way, is that they need to capitalize their business and have some funding. But be that as it may, the most powerful thing I think that we've talked about as a company and that we introduce to our clients is asking them to acknowledge that people don't know what they don't know. Mm. And that's true for all of us in anything. And so we need to introduce them to principles that they hadn't thought about, which if they were to master these principles, they would improve their real estate practice dramatically in terms of ability to earn more income. Right. We also have to acknowledge that some realtors have limited expectations for what they want, and that's fine. We're okay with that. Sure. We don't draw any judgments. But for those that come to me and say, help me to do better, I'm simply enabling them to do what they've said they wanted to do. So it's all about not knowing what you don't know, and then as coaches, taking them down that path.
Well, you know, and I would think I would make one distinction for you, Steve, just because I've known you for so long now, you've been on a staff for a couple of years, and you do an extraordinary job coaching. I'm going to change that word enabling a little bit. You empower people.
Well, we try to.
I mean, you really do empower people. To me, the word enabling might be that you guide them and you help them, which is wonderful. But I think you actually guide and help people to the point where they become very self-sufficient and are very confident in themselves and can go out and accomplish what they say that they want to accomplish. And that's a very empowering thing. I mean, you really help improve people's lives when they have the confidence to go out and do things like that, rather than always having to have somebody looking over their shoulder or whatever it may be.
Well, the kind words are appreciated. And I think for me, inspiration is the starting point for me.
Yeah.
Because the concept for us is not to have to coach someone for 27 years. If we inspire them and we empower them, at some point they're going to be able to do what they need to do and come to us as they need refreshment or reinforcement or things like that. But inspiration is what great coaching should be about.